Carlton is very much the centre of an awful lot. The absurdity of what is playing out at the Blues was exemplified today when David Teague was running the player exit interviews with no clarity on his own position from the club.
Well, this is a mess of the highest order. Carlton look like a laughingstock right now. It's a debacle.
OK, are they waiting for another piece of the puzzle to slip in before they make this decision? I'm not sure that's the right way to do the process.
What happens now is just extraordinary for David Teague. Do they think that they would keep David Teague if Alistair said no? I don't believe so. So why not just give him the news and give it to him today?
Right now, I think the board's split. They didn't know they were split, and now things have come out in recent times. All of a sudden, the new president is leading a split board.
Alistair Clarkson decides not to coach Carlton or coach anywhere next year, that David could keep his job. It was unfathomable to think of that only 24 hours ago. If you think David Teague's not right, well, then you make the change. But you don't sit there and go, well, what are we landing first? What are we going to do? I think it'd be fascinating to be a fly on the wall inside.
Yeah. What does this say about looking after your own people at a football club? That is the #1 priority, is to look after your own and make everyone feel... Football clubs talk about being like families. I mean, this is the furthest thing from it. Not only have you not given David Teague the best opportunity to succeed with assistant coaches leaving halfway through, no football director, no public support, you've made him face the most undignified 2-month period that a coach should ever have to face.
But this is a mess.
Yeah.
This is a total mess.
And unresolved on Tuesday night after their season finished. Humour me for a minute.
Yes, I will. I'd like to.
You be David Teague.
I'll be David Teague.
I'll be Patrick Cripps.
Righto.
How do you open today's exit meeting?
What are we doing here, Pat? Let's agree on one thing. When you leave here, you just do the obligatory doorstop. Just give me a little bit of love on the way out, and then tell me who you got your best runners are in the Spring Carnival. And they could spend the next 10 minutes talking about the races, because this is the untenable situation he's in. He can have no meaning. He's not going to sit there and talk in depth with Pat or anyone else, Sam Walsh, whoever it is, about what plans I've got for you next year, how I want to play, what I'm going to set up, what we're trying to do from a list management point of view. Because Pat's not silly. I mean, players aren't silly. Players hear and have confidants within footy clubs all over the place, whether you believe that or not. And they get bits of information here, so they know as much as anyone else. So they're looking at each other going, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
To be left in that scenario.
That's cruel,
so
Jared.
This was Patrick Cripps as he did the obligatory doorstop on the way out.
Me and Teague just had our end-of-season interview there. We have a great working relationship. All year we communicate all the time as player and as coach, and he's a great bloke. We have great respect for each other, and I'm sure he can back that up. In terms of our relationship with Teague, I don't think you question that at all, and I think Teague can back that up.
Jason Dunstall is the master of these processes, I think, through the active hand that he's played, what he's observed. He said last night, this is not the way that it's done. So the whole football world believes now that Carlton is waiting to pitch to Alistair Clarkson and then waiting for his answer before getting to the business of David Teague.
You've got a football club mired in uncertainty at a time where you need to be certain about where you're going. And and right now they can't move until such time as they make a decision. So Clarko might be sitting at his farm going, well, yeah, I'll get back to you in a day or two. They need to know. And as hard as that is, they've got to make a decision because they've got to move on. And
they have introduced an element which Clarkson shouldn't be having to deal with, which is if you take this job, this bloke loses it. That shouldn't be... If you are going to pitch to the guy you most want with all your heart, that's not it. You have to have made your own decisions, cleared the decks and gone, OK, so you don't have to feel any compunction of guilt here. We have made our decisions, we've opened this up, let's talk.
And you've not mentioned Ross Lyon, who this time last week was about to go on television and talk about the prospect of potentially coaching, in which case may have come back and bit him on the backside. I mean, it is... I feel for everyone involved. I hope they get it resolved quickly. It doesn't appear that there is any great rush.
No, it'll be a cautionary tale as it plays out. All right, to our finalists. We're going to talk to the Swans shortly. Let's start with the Giants.